Well, welcome back everybody to Motorsport Manager then, the single-seater playthrough, and we have arrived at long last at the final race of the season then. And it's been a mixed season. Obviously, since we changed the difficulty level, it's been pretty tricky to hold position where we were in the top couple of positions in the championship. But we're still fighting for fourth. We're only 3 points ahead of Boa España and 4 points ahead of Ruiz Motorsport. So we could potentially, I don't think we can catch Thornton. It would take an incredible race to do so. So we could potentially finish 4th, 5th or 6th in this final race then. So we need to give it our all. Eka narrowly missing out on points last time, unfortunately. But if we can get a point or two and just tip the scales in our favour. But of course, the other teams might not even score points with only the top 6 scoring. So we'll have to see. We'll give it our best shot. Try and score some points if we can. And wherever we finish out of those 3 positions, it's going to be a lot better than we perhaps were expecting when the season started. So I won't be disappointed either way, but I will be slightly disappointed if we're not 4th. But let's get on with today's episode then. And we want obviously the best pit crew we can for the final race of the season. So we need someone that's good on the old front jack. We don't really have a backup in this position. I guess the best option would be Santa Banas. That's going to need us to replace our field with someone on the refuel and tyres. Which I guess Gola would be a good swap. But then we need someone on tyres and fixing to replace Fleming. That would be Paul. And Aguilia. Again, we need someone on tyres and refueling. I feel we need to spend some time in the off-season making sure we've got cover in each position. Because we've got a lot of mechanics here, but they're not necessarily covering each other, which is a bit of a problem. I really don't think we've got anybody. I think it's going to have to be Zogbo, unfortunately. Which is going to make for a pretty slow pit stop. But it will have to be Zogbo. We could bring someone else in. I guess Incolingo would be a good hire. We might bring him in then. And then we'll decide who to get rid of next time. But we just need to make sure we got 2 people in each position. At the moment, they don't really match up very well. And I'm sure there's a lot of people here we don't really need. But we'll get into that next time. Let's just get on with the episode and get on with this race. And I think there's a lot of stuff we're going to have to do in the off-season anyway. All across the board. So we'll get down into that and obviously give you guys the chance to give me some feedback and advice during the off time before I record the pre-season episode. Right, repairs are finished. So I guess at this point reliability is good across the board. So at this point I think we just want to improve performance as much as possible. And that's going to increase the base parts we get next season as well, of course. So yeah, I think we'll stay on brakes and gearbox, really. There's still big improvements to be made in both those categories. Right, we've got some sponsor offers. Let's just wind it on a few days and see if we get some better ones. We've got 2 new sponsors coming in for next season, which will be good. We're sticking with the same driver lineup, so there's no need to really wait or cancel the offers. This is our marketabilities at 85.2 anyway. Just shy of that 5%, which of that 5-star, which I'm sure we won't get until we either replace Eka or get promoted to the top division. Right, we've got 3 offers here then. So we've got 3rd, 4th or 6th or above. Now, obviously I prefer to get a nice upfront payment. And I feel 4th or above is a nice target anyway. So we'll take the million from Condor. And then who have we got? So we've got Luxina is 12th or above. So this is 1st or 2nd. So we're really just going to have to take the money up front here. There's a big bonus there for a win. Now, of course, we are aiming for wins next season. I just don't see it happening early on. So I think we'll go for Northern Harbour, and again, we'll just take the money. It's all going to be very useful for building the car beginning of next season. So that's a nice little boost to the bank balance. We've saved quite well over the last few races. Obviously, the car hasn't moved on. And that could be the reason why we've struggled a bit more in the races as well. Of course, we have changed difficulty, but that might be the other reason, is that we've stopped developing the car. And it might only take 1 or 2 races to lose ground to everybody around us if they're continuing to develop. Right, we've got quite a few messages here. Our lead designer, it's fairly good to be working with Ruby, our lead designer, but I must admit at being a bit jealous when I look around the paddock at the rest of the teams. Not that she's a bad designer, I just can't help but get the feeling that we can do better. Now, staff is something I want to address in the off-season. May well be mechanic to replace Woodbridge. I don't know that we're going to get much better than Ruby Smith. She gets a big boost to reliability for Epic, which, to be fair, isn't massively useful, because reliability is always something we can regain. It's not something she's adding to the parts per se. So that'll be another point to let me know in between. Apparently we have an offer for Pete Colby. I think that was before we had Ruby Smith. That's there from ages ago. Is he just waiting? Is he unemployed and just, they'll get back to me any day now? Just calling his wife, anything today? Nope. And nothing for the last 262 days, love. But yeah, let me know if you think we should hunt for a better designer. In terms of staff, do you think we should put the money in the pit crew, the race mechanics, or the lead designer? I think Woodbridge, we'd hoped he would improve quickly. He hasn't done. And although he's got some good bonuses, I think we could do better there. It's going to help our engineering department as well, of course, getting a better race mechanic. So, factory staff are actually idle. Doesn't really matter because we've just got to the race. I did move the shadow play thing. Thank you everybody for the reminders on the Haas playthrough. So, no longer will I be forgetting about car number 2's fuel or having to pause it to see how it's doing. I should be able to see that nice and clearly now. Right, let's go to front wing. And rear wing's got a lot of improvement it can have as well. Obviously that will just be done before the off season, as we are now ready for the final race then. So we will go with Condor and hope that we can maybe get 4th and get a nice little bonus. 4th in qualifying is definitely possible. Race we might struggle, but we'll see. I don't think there'll be any changes to the parts. Yeah, Moreau's got a slightly worse car. I'm not particularly bothered about giving Eka a much better car. It's not as if she's fighting for a driver's championship, and we're at Phoenix at the Oval, so this will be interesting. Right, as per usual then, I shall get practice underway, and I'll be back with you guys for qualifying. Okay, so into qualifying then, practice was fairly decent. 95 for both cars. Would have preferred a bit of a higher setup, considering we need to try and get some points out of this final race. And everybody doing their practice times on hard tyres apart from us, so don't even know where our pace was. So, but we got a lot of bonuses on both race trim and qualifying. So hopefully we can qualify in the top 10 here. And then strategy is going to be key, it being an oval. We really need to look after the tyres from what I remember from last time round Phoenix. So we'll most likely be using the harder compounds. But Monroe is across the line then in a 45.3. And Eka quite a bit quicker then with a 44.5 once again. Showing on the opening qualifying lap that Eka has got quite a bit more pace than Monroe. And it's definitely something Monroe's got to work on. To be fair, it's what we've expected. I've said it before in the last couple of races, but Monroe's really outdone in my expectations of him this season. He's done really well considering. Eka overall is obviously the points leader by quite a way, but considering how, Monroe is a complete rookie and has got a lot of work to do, he's done pretty decent. But there's a big old gap between our two drivers, and Eka is in P2 then, provisionally for this qualifying session. And that 7/10 different to Monroe is enough to put Monroe in 16th. Obviously very short lap round here, so it's going to be very tight between each car in qualifying. Now, of course, we're pretty limited on tyres. There's probably enough time in this session to do more than 2 runs. But because we're so limited on soft tyres, we can only really do 1 more run. And that will mean we'll have no fresh sets of soft tyres for the race itself, but I don't think we'll need them. Considering how high the tyre wear is here, we're probably going to start on medium tyres, or hards even, depending. If Munro stays in the bottom half of the field, we'll probably risk Munro on the hard tyres. But let's just get things moving then. We can go up pretty late in this session, very short lap round here. So we'll wait till about 1 minute 40. And we'll put on our final set of soft tyres then, and out goes Eka. And then we'll wait a little bit, wait for this traffic to pass. We've put Eka into the middle of a lot of traffic there. So hopefully that won't affect her lap too badly, though to be fair, she's got a pretty good lap in already. Less than a 10th off pole at the moment, and if Eka has a good lap here, she could well take pole position, which would be pretty great. We're also going to look on target at the moment to get that 400,000 then. And she crosses the line, does improve, goes provisionally on pole. It's only Munro to finish his lap, and he does find a couple of attempts then to lift him up to 13th. But that is a superb pole position for Eka. Got a feeling that might be her first one this season. I haven't got a record of that to hand, but that's a fantastic result. We'll take that all day long. And by the smallest of margins as well, 1/100th of a second to Vidal in second. So things looking promising. But as we know, qualifying is almost nothing in this game. We have a horrible habit of qualifying really well and then just going backwards through the field like a rock in a lake. So hopefully we can have a good race and we can try and race for some points here. So we're going to go medium tyres and race trim for Eka. We'll try and go race trim if I'm not too quick on the mouse. And we'll go engine expert and race trim for Munro. So we're going to start Eka on the medium tyres. So expected lifespan around about 15 to 17. We're going to go 15 because I don't think we'll take the tyres as far as they need to go, and we don't want to have too much fuel. I might go 14 actually, because I don't have much faith in us getting the distance out of the tyres, and I want to save a little bit of fuel as well. And then with Munro, we can push a bit more, so we'll go a bit heavier on the fuel, but we're going to use hard tyres and go as long as we can, as we're starting quite far back. And we'll go 20 laps of fuel and push early on to try and get through some of the traffic and have a nice long stint then. Right, here we go then. Final race of the season. Let's try and channel everything we've learnt and get a good start here. We're actually the only person starting on the medium tyres in the top. You have to go down to 9th place then to see the next medium tyre runners. So Eka's going to have to do well early on here to try and hold positions if she can, for this strategy to pay dividends. But it's an oval. How much can tyres really make a difference? Off the line is where it makes a difference, is the answer to that question. And Eka loses the lead by turn 1 then. Munro is up to 11th, has made a great start. As we kick it on up to 2-speed then. As I've mentioned before, we're going to be running these races on 2-speed now. It will mean slightly longer episodes, but it means that we don't make any stupid mistakes from not reacting quick enough. So everything looking good for Eka at the moment. We're going to go to medium fuel with Eka, and we're going to go high fuel with Munro. And we're immediately going to go, I think, neutral and conserve with Eka. And just see what that does to the tyre temperatures. It's obviously incredibly... To be fair, it's not as hot as it was last time out in Phoenix. So tyre wear might be a bit better around here this time. But we'll see how the temperatures hold. Eka, as expected really, has now lost positions to both Clark and Rodriguez. And I'm sure Cruz will be through in only a matter of time. There goes Cruz then. So we're down to P5. But we're on a slightly different strategy, let's not forget. We need to look after these medium tyres. And as long as we can stay in the top 10, we've got a chance of maybe doing one stop less and getting that advantage back later in the race. Right, tyres seem to be holding up pretty well, so we're going to go neutral on both cars. Now, we talked about this last time, or we talked about it in the comments, that when our tyres are underheating slightly, they're too cold, not quite in the operating window. There's a general consensus that pushing to get them back up to temperature is actually doing more damage, even though it shouldn't really, because you're getting them back to the working range. So we're going to experiment this time, and we're going to keep it on neutral and just let them sit at that slightly cold temperature and just see if that improves things a little bit, rather than pushing to get them up to temperature and potentially ruining them. Right, most of the soft tyre runners are now past Eka. It's just Latinian, that's definitely how you pronounce that name, behind on the soft tyres, on pretty ruined soft tyres, so I don't think we're in any danger of going any further backwards. And Monroe is top of the hard tyre runners then, back in 13th. Quite a big gap developing between this group and all those on the soft compounds ahead. But of course we're going to be able to go quite a lot deeper into this race. Just keep an eye on that engine and gearbox wear, considering we're pushing. Now, you see, I think it's getting too cold now, so I am going to go push, just try and get them back up a little bit. That experiment lasted long, didn't it? Immediately. Right, this is what we're going to try. We're going to keep it throughout the stint. Nah, actually, no. It's not working. Scrap it. I think they're too cold now. I think when they're a little bit below, pushing to get them up to temperature is not the right thing to do. Right, so Eka actually passed quite a lot of those soft tyre runners before they'd even pitted, because the medium tyres coming back in terms of speed as the wear on the soft tyres went too low. And so we now provisionally lead this race then. And I think the most positive thing at the moment is we're 10 seconds ahead of the nearest medium tyre runner, suggesting we've got great pace with Eka. So let's not muck it up, shall we? Right, a couple more laps of fuel to go. She can probably do one more lap after this, and I would suggest the tyres can probably hold out that long. They can probably go down to around about 15 seconds, and 15%. And considering it's such a short lap there, we should be able to get away with that. So Eka will come in this lap. Now we've got 30 laps to do. We did 13 on those medium tyres that time. So if we can stretch them a couple more laps, I reckon we take the hit on this stint. We'll go hard and then we'll go medium in the final stint. I think that's what we'll do. So I'm going to put 18 laps of fuel in, and we'll try and get 20 laps out of the tyres if we can. And then it'll be just one more stop to make then. So it'll be interesting to see where she comes out. Monroe is now in second place of the race, and similarly to Eka, Monroe's around about 10 seconds ahead of his nearest hard tyre runner. So if the strategies work out for either of these two drivers, they're at the front of their respective fields, if that makes sense. So good stop from Eka, no mistakes, and she's going to come back out in 15th place then. So not brilliant, but not terrible either. Monroe can probably get a couple more laps out of these. But I think to be safe, we'll come in this time around. And we'll have 28 laps to go then. So I think it'll be medium for Monroe now. He's done his long stint on the hard tyres. So we will put... I reckon we'll get about 14, 15 laps. I'm going to go 14 and we'll use a little bit of extra fuel. And hopefully that'll pay off. Now, I'm hoping the engine and gearbox will be able to push for the whole race. We may be overfueled a little bit that time round, but we can sort that out next time. And we should be able to go longer in this stint. So, no mistakes made. And Monroe's going to come back out in 15th place. Not too bad. Not too shabby at all. So, a lot of time lost with Eka. We're going to go to neutral on the mediums and just see how the temperatures do. A lot of time lost to those early stoppers, but they've almost got to stop again. So we should be quicker at this stage because they're almost under 50% on those mediums. And they should have to do 2 more stops. So we're still in the driving seat, I think, here, overall. Eka trying to make a move now on Rodriguez, which would be a pretty handy move to get done. And she does get it done down the long straight then. And that means she's ahead of the next hard tyre runner, which is the group she needs to stay ahead of. Because if this is the right strategy, she's net first. And if Monroe is on the right strategy, he's net first of his group. So we've just got to hope all these guys that started on the soft tyres are on the wrong strategy here. If they are, we're quids in. If they're not, then we might still be on for a point. We'll see. There's Latien's already come in for a second stop then, almost confirming that most of these guys are going to be stopping twice more. So, yep, they both dropped behind Eka, so we're still in the net lead, I feel, here. Right, temperatures, I'm going to push. I hope this doesn't take tyre life out of it, but they're just getting too cold for my liking. And we need these tyres to go the distance. I don't really want to have to do the final stint on the hard tyres again. But if we balls it up, we might have to. We'll have to see. Right, car condition looking okay. Engine a little worse for wear with Eka, which is a bit of a shame considering she hasn't pushed all race. But it is an oval, so we have to work hard around here. Monroe's buff on the engine and gearbox working well. So he's still up near 70%, even though he's been pushing for the entire race. Right, here's the crucial one. Lundqvist, we are ahead as well. So I feel now everybody has got to stop once more. So I feel those positions are genuine now. I think we are 1st and 6th. 1st and 5th now as Monroe battling hard with John Stottier. This will be worth watching. Temperature's looking okay, everything else looking good. I'm a little bit worried about how much fuel Eka's got in. I think we've overfueled her again. We'll just have to try and put less in on the final stint. Monroe has now got past John Stottier. That's a worthwhile move. We've got quite a lot of traffic coming up for Eka as well, who is racing brilliantly, I must add. Yeah, they have crossed over now, though. Those medium tyres are wearing quicker. So, fuel might be okay for Eka, we'll see. Monroe will be the next guy that needs to stop. And I'm a little worried he's not taking these far enough. He'll probably have to go to hard tyres for the final stint then. With 15 laps to go, we've got one more lap we can do. Yeah, so we'll have to come in this time round for Monroe. He's only done 12 laps on those mediums, so we're going to have to go hard tyres. Right, so there's 0.69 in the tank. We'll have 14 laps to go. Engine and gearbox still okay? They're still okay. So I'm going to go 14 laps, and then we'll push till the end, hopefully. We seem bang on with fuel for Monroe. We seem to be over-fueling Eka by a huge amount. But Eka, Monroe in now then. Eka got another couple of laps, so she should be okay on the mediums for the final stint. It'll be close, but as long as she looks after them, she'll be okay. Right, Monroe, back out then. He's just behind that massive tail of cars. Right, Eka I think is going to have to come in this lap. Right, she got 15 laps out of the mediums first time. Should be fine. Let's not overfuel it this time. We're not going to be pushing. Can we save 2 laps of fuel? Let's try. It's only 1.2 laps. I think we can do that. We don't want to overfuel. We can't push, that's for sure, because the engine is knackered already. And she'll be back out then. Oh, this is nail-biting. This is a tense final race here. I don't know where we're going to end up. I really don't. Alright, she's going to come back out in probably about 5th place. She's back out ahead of Clark Smith then, which is good news. Now, Batista's got to stop again. Cruz I would expect to. And Surikov and Vidal will be close. So, there goes Batista, up into P4 now. The temperature's risen a bit? No. I was going to say, the tyres are holding nicely at neutral. They're even overheating a little bit now. We do have excess fuel for Munro, quite a lot of it, with 10 laps to go. It's actually not that much excess because Munro hasn't finished that lap yet. Yeah, he's only got about half a lap excess, so we need to keep an eye on that. There's a lot of people ahead of Munro that have got a pit, but I don't think he's going to have the pace to hold them off once they do take their stop. So I think Munro's out of the picture, so we're going to stay with Eka. She makes a move on Surikov for P3 then. This could be perfect. We are pushing when we shouldn't be. Oh. Yeah, I don't know why we were pushing that. That's not done the tyres any good. Let's conserve for a lap or two to get them back under control. Cruz is in. And I think Vidal's going to have to stop. I think we've got this. As long as we manage it. Clark Smith behind has got a pit. Kuramisha is on more worn tyre. I think we've got this. I don't want to jinx it because I always jinx it. If we just look after the tyres, I think we've won this race. The only question mark is Vidal. He might not have to stop. He might be able to stretch those out. Right, let's go to push on the tyres with Munro. They're cooling down. 5 laps to go. Yeah, we're about right on the fuel. It looks very excessive, but I don't think we're actually that excessive. Tyres are now back down to temperature, so we'll go back to neutral with Eka. She is now in the lead of the race then. Munro is back up to P11. But this is the problem. He's on such worn hard tyres that any positions he gains from people pitting, he's got no chance of holding them off really. So it's a strong race from Munro so far, but we're not going to be concentrating on him for the rest of this race. I don't think. This is all about Eka now. Right, let's go back to full pace. I think we're low on fuel. We are really low. Oh no. No. 2 laps to go. We're short. We're massively short. Is she going to have to do a splash and dash? Oh, what can we do? Can she make that round? I don't think we can. I think we've thrown away a win. Oh, we're going to have to pit her. Can she get round 0.65? How long would a stop be for 1 lap? 4-second pit stop. Pit lane's around about 20 seconds. Oh, I can't believe I've done this. This has happened so many times before. We can't. We'll be 7th. We'll just have to. Oh, can she get round? Oh, this is agonising. I didn't see that soon enough. I think Munro's actually going to be short as well. I'm going to have to go low engine mode for him as well. Eka, 0.9. She's got 8-second lead. She's run out of fuel. Can that car get over the line? Come on. Oh, come on. That second there. Are we over? We did it. We won. Oh, fucking hell. The gap to Vidal, 0.0 seconds. That must have been a photo finish. I think, did Munro run out of fuel? No, he got over with 11 in 11th. Good finish for him, really, considering. And we win the final race of the season. We might have got third. That was a brilliant race. What a finish. Now, you see people, you're always complaining about fuel having some left over. I don't think I could have judged that better. I mean, yeah, we could have had a bit more and we would have won by about 10 seconds. But to win the race by... Let's have a look at it, shall we? I think you'll find it's going to be a dead heat almost. 0.03 of a second. Eka won that race by. Gets the pole position bonus as well. 2 extra points. 22 points from a single race for Eka. What a finish to the season. That was incredible. It was behind the stadium as well. I couldn't see who crossed. I couldn't see them crossing. And there was so much traffic coming through. I didn't know who Vidal was. Oh, I'm so glad we didn't cock that up. I mean, we did cock it up royally, but we got away with it. Munro, a great 11th place, to be fair. You know, that's about where our car was. He came back through the field nicely, executed the strategy really well. Just needs to find that extra pace in himself, I think. He'll be a fairly decent driver if we give him a good car. And he's got a lot of room for improvement. So that's a good finish, to be fair. There we go. Race winner. First place. We'll take that all day long. And that means Eka she's runner-up in the championship then by 3 points from Nikolai Surikov. A great effort from her considering the car. And she's just getting better and better. She really is. Munro didn't disgrace himself. 13 points from his opening season. And gives him 13th place in the championship. I think he lost quite a few positions in that race because of Vidal's second, who also had a cracking race from where he was. I can only imagine if all of these guys went down a position that Vidal must have been 13th before that final race. He got the fastest lap bonus as well. And now the crucial one. It's P2. It's P2. We missed winning the championship by 2 points. If we'd got the fastest lap of the race, we would have taken that championship. Or it would have been a dead heat. Wow. I didn't think it was going to have that kind of... I thought that would have just cemented third place. But the win and the pole position bonus means we're comfortably runners-up in the championship. And it's kind of perfect, really. Because we didn't want to get promoted. We wanted to stay another season. So we get the maximum amount of... I feel if I'd been given the choice, that little part of my brain would have just taken it and we would have promoted ourselves and had a terrible season. Next year, not really ready for it. So I'm kind of glad. That means we get the maximum amount of prize money without being promoted. Runner-up is pretty great. Some big boosts for both Eka and Munro there as well. And the chairman is pretty happy with that as well. $1 million in the bank then. It's a shame we didn't go for the first place sponsor objective, but hey, I don't think anyone could have predicted that. We got the strategy spot on today. And Eka executed it to a T. So congratulations to her then. So 2020 winner of the Drivers' Championship is Nikolai Surikov from Team Kirov. And Team Kirov take... Oh no, they don't. They take the... No, it's VLAN Racing that are the world champions in the constructors then. And take home 30 million. Third and sixth, they're two drivers showing. You don't need to win the Drivers' Championship to win the constructors in this championship. Which is something that we would love to see in F1. Imagine someone third and sixth in the Drivers' Championship winning the constructors in Formula 1. No. Wow. Okay, that was a pretty incredible finish to the season. Let's take a final look then at the Drivers' Championship there. And the constructors, that's the most pleasing to me. And we finished the season with the 7th best car then. And I think we started it with the 9th. So we're moving forward. The HQ is clearly, as we can see, where we need to make the improvements, and we'll do that in the off season. Once we get our prize money, we'll decide what we should improve. I guess you guys should see if you're going to give me help and advice. There's a quick look at the buildings available to us and the levels that we've already upgraded. So let me know what you guys think we need to do in the off season. Of course, I will look back through all your comments and feedback before we go into the pre-season episode, which will be in a few days' time. So I hope you enjoyed that crazy end to the season. I hope you've enjoyed this season in general. As always, thank you for the continued support on this series. Obviously, the Haas playthrough has done very well for me recently, but the same bunch of you have just supported this series through and through for about the last, year and a half now. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. Your comments, help and advice always helps me get the motivation to continue going with it. And we will do it for another year and a half if we have to. We will win this championship. So if you did enjoy the episode, don't hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Go and watch the other 60 odd episodes. Be much appreciated. And you also can subscribe as well. So as always, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you again next time.